How's it going? David from Comic Book Investments. So I'm trying to upload more content, and I had a long debate with one of my friends about this. So I figured, oh, okay, what's the difference? I'll just talk about it too on here. Uh, so just my quick thoughts on it. So Carano got let go from the Mandalorian show. I mean, I watched the show. I love the show. Great. I could not praise it enough. I was really bummed out by the new Star Wars Disney Star Wars stuff, and I was like, ugh, Star Wars is dead because I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and I couldn't stand him. And then I saw the Mandalorian. I'm like, it's gonna be ruined. It's no good. And then, wow, it was exactly how I imagined Star Wars should be. Like it's everything. Yeah, the best. Season 2 came out, it was great and all this. And then I see this article about one of the side characters, doing something on Twitter. Um, I mean, personally, like, I can understand where Disney is coming from, and it's not. I don't think Disney really cares about what she said. They just don't want the backlash, and they don't want to deal with it. And I think in like nowadays world, people think like they think their Twitter is there. It's like their identity. They can do whatever they want with it. They can post whatever they want, and that's fine. You can. But once you work for a company, it's almost like they take a hold of your identity. You're no long you especially in the entertainment world. It's one thing if you work at like Burger King or something like that. Even then, you probably get fired if you say something. But no one's gonna. You're not. You might have a couple followers, right, on Twitter or something like that. She has. I don't know how much she has. Probably millions or something, hundreds of thousands. So she has influence, and they just don't want to deal with it. And so they just probably have think of it like this way: if she's posting this stuff, right, it doesn't matter you agree or disagree. That's who cares. And they have backlash because of it, because it doesn't toe the line that they want you to toe. That means they have to get a publicist involved, and they have to come out and they have to pay that person, and then they have to go the retraction, and then they have to set up like this and that, and all these different like PR things. All this stuff costs money. All this stuff ends up looking bad, and they don't care about the bottom line. I'm talking about Disney. And so, what if all of a sudden they go, okay, well, we track this every time she does this kind of tweet or something like that, or another star does a tweet like this, or says something stupid, and we have to pay all this money to do PR and go on an apology tour, and that's even if the star wants to do it. Then on top of that, oh, we notice that we have a dip in like 5% viewership because those people are like, oh, I'm never watching her again. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not, maybe it's 10 people on Twitter. I don't know. But in any case, there's like, well, this affects our bottom line. And Disney is a corporation. They don't care about you and your feelings. They only care about one thing, and that's money. Money, money, money. And that's all corporations care about. It doesn't matter what it is. They'll do whatever it takes to get more money. They'll pretend like they're good and they care and all this kind of. They don't care. They don't care. They want to make sure that every year their share price goes higher and the shareholders are happy and their stock price rises. And well, they do that and need as many viewers as possible, and they try not to step any toes and they do all that kind of stuff. So, Gina, with she has a political view or just a viewpoint in general that's different than like what the mainstream people want to think. And I don't care, whatever. She can have her own thing. And she did this thing where they have you put in your Twitter profile, you put like him, her, them, all that kind of stuff, your pronouns. And she put beep bop boop or whatever. Let's you put in there, and whatever. I mean, my stance is like if you don't care about the pronouns thing and you think it's dumb or whatever, just don't say anything at all. Like what did Thumper say? If you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. Like you literally just did that to make fun of people, right? And it's like, okay, maybe you're being funny, but some people are hurt. I don't really care. Do whatever you want. It's your Twitter, but don't expect, And then she got in trouble with that, and then she had another post, and then Disney, let her go. And here's the thing: if she was a side character, I mean, she was in a few of the episodes. I think there's like 8 in a season, 10, I can't remember. But she was in maybe half. I don't know, and she's only in a bit part, like when they need to change things up a little bit. So she could easily. It's not like she's Pedro, who's the main character, who's the Mandalorian. Like he would have to say some. Like if he posted the exact same stuff that she said, they wouldn't have done anything about it. They would say, oh, they went on their apology tour, their PR, and like, oh, he's changed, blah, 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 and he's not going to say those things anymore if he wanted to. But he's main character. He brings in so much money. She doesn't bring in that much money. So they're like, they weigh all the things like, how much is she costing us? And she won't stop too. That's another thing. They probably talked to her multiple times that you need to stop this, you need to calm down. And then they're like, she's not stopping. It's only getting worse. So therefore, let's just cut ties with her because she's a small part of Mandalorian. Like she could literally be not recast, but replaced by anyone else. They could say, oh, here's another ex-trooper who did this or whatever and fought in these whatever the rebellion and whatever. You know, they could bring back Bill Burr's character. I mean, he's not dead, but he's like they could make him take place of that. You know, they put in another female cast. They could do whatever they want. So she's not like a main. She can't like the people who can't replace is Pedro and Baby Yoda. Beyond that, everyone else is expendable. Like it's those two. Those are the main two, right? You can't get rid of. Um, you can even get rid of. Uh, is it the guy who plays Apollo Creed? What's his name? Weathers? Carl Weathers? Is that his name? I don't know. Like even he's probably expendable, right? He's great. I like him, but he's probably expendable. Um, so yeah. So I think like when I worked for a clothing company years ago, I was only allowed to wear their clothes. That's it. I couldn't wear anyone else's clothes um, because I had to represent the clothing place that I worked at. And like, and on top of that, well, they ended up getting sued, and they had to provide is considered a uniform provider or whatever. But then even after then, it's like I couldn't wear certain colors. Like I couldn't wear black, even though black's not color, but because they didn't sell black, so I couldn't wear black. I couldn't wear like certain jeans. I had to represent all sorts of stuff. Um, and that's kind of like when you work for someone, you have to take on that thing. And so people, I think, tend to think, especially in entertainment, they're like, well, it's my Twitter. And it's like, well, now your Twitter represents us, Disney, as a company. And so we don't want you to ruin anything that we have going on, right? And, Star Wars is a $1 billion franchise, and they don't want to taint that at all. This is a huge franchise. So they don't want to, because what if all of a sudden they're thinking in their mind, okay, what if because of her tweets, she makes like 100 people mad? And they're like, F this, right? I'm never talking about, never watching The Mandalorian. I'm not never watching any Star Wars again. Then now thinking, okay, when they get a little older and maybe they have kids or friends that are around and they teach them like, oh, Star Wars, I don't watch that. It's terrible garbage, right? That puts a negative path for Star Wars and future revenue. That means they're never going to buy the toys, never going to buy tickets to the movies, never going to buy any merchandise like that. So it's like they're thinking long term, and it's like they look at the pros and the cons. They're like, well, she's a side character, we can get rid of her. It's not that big of a deal, and maybe they're going to get rid of her anyways, for other reasons. Yeah, but I think that's just like what the world that we live in now. If you're like a star, celebrity, or even a social media celebrity, I think you don't really. It sucks, but you don't actually own your Twitter anymore. It's run by the companies that you work for, like the Disneys or the Warner Brothers or whatever like that. And you can say whatever you want, and you can post whatever you want, but just know that if the people that hire you don't like it, you will get fired. So I think she'll be fine though. I heard she's doing a movie for the Daily Wire or something like that. And I have no opinion either way. I think she's fine in the show, and I know she was a UFC fighter, so whatever. She ended up gaining like a ridiculous amount of like Twitter followers, I think it was, or something like that, and like became like the top on IMDb, which rates like how I don't know what's going on with celebrities, like how much they're being talked about and stuff like that. So I think she will find her, her little niche of group that will like her, but I don't know. I think she'll be fine. I'm not too worried about it, but it's just interesting. We live in a world where you can't just say whatever you want, even though it's your Twitter, your Instagram, your Facebook, whatever. You just can't anymore because the people that pay your paycheck might not like it. So that's my thoughts on it.